Hello everyone, this is Rosalind, and today I'm going to be doing a video on the passive stat caps in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is partially because it was requested of me that I do a video over this, and also just because there's a lot of misinformation that gets spread around about these passive stat caps, and I just kind of want to dispel a few myths, show how things actually work. So let's get on with it. First of all, for people who don't know what a stat cap is, or for those who don't know how to tell what contributes to a stat cap, let's go ahead and talk about that. So what is a stat cap? So basically a stat cap is, you have these passive abilities over here, and these skills, right? So I have like HP and MP here on Lorraine. You can only have so much of these passives on a character before you stop receiving benefit from them. And that benefit, that cap that you can reach is 300%, and this cap applies to HP, it applies to MP, it applies to attack, it applies to defense, it applies to magic, and it applies to spirit. Okay? Now, that's not all it applies to, but for now we're going to talk about those. So, how do you tell if it's there? Well, if it shows up here in your skills section, it applies to that cap. Simple enough. We're just going to show the cap when it's in effect. If you look here at my Lorraine, she has 1,596 attack right now. Now between her passives and the abilities and gear that I have equipped on her, she's currently at 300% bonus passive attack. She's at the cap. And just to kind of show how that works, I'm going to go ahead and equip a ring here that should give me 10% more, but as you'll see, she doesn't gain anything. She still stays at the exact same attack level. That's basically what happens when you use the attack, or when you go over a cap, right? Now, besides those passive stats, what also has a cap? Well, Double Hand has a cap. And this is quite relevant to Global since Cloud is about to release, so you guys are going to be getting True Double Hand. So you'll have True Double Hand and Regular Double Hand. Now these share the same cap, and it is also 300%. Just to kind of show it here, and to show that they do share it. Okay, so right now I have 300% True Double Hand equipped to Cloud. He has 100% from, 50% from one martial glove, 50% from the other martial glove. He has Buster Form, which is another 100%, and then he has his passive, which is also another 100% for a total of 300% Double Hand. Now I've purposely equipped him with Excalibur because it is a one-handed weapon, just so this, works, because if I were to equip him with a two-handed weapon and then equip regular Double Hand, it wouldn't do anything. So let's equip regular Double Hand. And as you can see, his attack didn't go up at all, because he's already at that cap. So it doesn't matter whether it's True Double Hand or whether it's regular Double Hand, the cap is 300% and they share it. Just to kind of give a little bit more of an example, let's go ahead and equip another. So this gives him, now he's at 400%, but again, he's only getting 300% of that benefit. Take that off. Now he's back down to 300%, but this time with Double Hand as giving 100% of it, and he's still at the same attack rating. Okay. So, you might be wondering, well, what other caps are there, if there are any? Well, your killer effects. I can't actually show this because I actually can't reach 300% on a killer, and that's actually a whole lot more difficult to show anyway, so you just have to trust me on this one. But killers also have a 300% cap. So, Man-Eater, Demon Killer, Beast Killer, all those. If you equip one of that, so if you equip 300% of Beast Killer, you can't equip any more than that. And then also limit stones per turn. So this is like your auto limit, or what you would get from Jack's Trust Mastery. I don't know the English name for it, but at the end of every turn you get so much of your limit gauge, right? Those have a strict cap of 12 stones per turn, and I'll be showing that in a little bit later in the video. And now for what does not have a cap. Again, one of these I can't show, and that is jump damage. So if you have a weapon or, I don't know, an accessory or some materia or whatever that increases the amount of jump damage that a character has, and they also have passives, you can go well over 300%, and you will still receive the full benefit of that. That has no cap whatsoever. And then finally, the most contested one, the one that gets said it has a cap the most often, but it does not, is high tide effects. So this is, whenever a limit stone drops from an enemy in battle, if you have, some of these high tide effects on, it increases how much of the gauge that limit stone fills, right? And people say that this cap is at 300%, and that is false. There is no cap on this whatsoever. Okay, so I'm here at the training dummy, and just to kind of show what I have here, I have a Riku that has no equipment on, so all she has is her standard 100% from, drive boost, increase to limit stone drops. So the percent that she would get from a limit stone in battle. Just going to show how that increases her stones if it works here. Okay, so she finally got some limit stones there. So you can see the bar kind of filled, right? She got a couple of them. She has 100% passive. It went up a little bit, right? So now let's equip her up to 300%. Okay, and now I'm back, and you can see Riku now has Aigayan Arm and Override equipped. So she now has 300%. As you can see, there's a pretty huge difference in the, the amount of limit stones she just got from that right there. So, now to show that this goes over 300%, let's equip as much as I possibly can. Okay, and now we are back. I have equipped Riku with as much as I possibly could to increase the rate at which her limit gauge fills. So, she has her 100% innate, she has Override and Aigayan Arm for 300%. I equipped her with 3, I don't know what this is called. It's Mog's Trust Mastery. I don't know what it's called in English, but that's another 150%. Then I equipped her with the Skull. Again, I don't know what this is called in English, what they translate it to, but that puts her another 200% when combined with this. So that's 500%. And then these Explorer gloves, these were from the Monster Hunter collaboration. It's an extra 20%. So she's currently now at 520%. So let's hope these go to her whenever I attack with Cloud. And it did. And as you can see, again, every single time, 2 stones went to her, and the gauge fills, it goes above 300%. So, if anyone ever says the cap is 300%, you can show them this video and prove them wrong. So next, I will be showing the cap on limit stones. Okay, now that we have shown that high tide effects have no cap, let's go ahead and show that there is a cap for auto limit effects. Now, I've chosen to use Kilsis for this example, simply because he has an innate 6 limit stones per turn in a passive. Also, his limit break requires 30 stones, so this makes it really easy just kind of to showcase how this works. Now, going over the gear I have him, because his limit break takes 30 stones per turn, or you need 30 stones to use it, theoretically if I can get at least 15 per turn, I would be able to use his limit break every 2 turns. So I currently have his Trust Mastery equipped, so that's 2 extra, so he has 8 there with his passive in that. I have CG Lid's Trust Mastery, it's another 2 for 10. And then I have 3 of Jack's Trust Mastery for a total of 16 limit stones per turn, theoretically. So let's see if he actually gets it in 2 turns. Okay, as you can clearly see, he did not get it in 2 turns. So obviously you can't get 16 limit stones per turn, or else he would have already had his limit break. So now I'm going to go ahead and change up his gear, and I'm going to take a couple of these off, and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, and I'm back. So I went and I took off 1 of Jack's Trust Masteries. So now he is at 14 limit stones per turn. Okay. This should get him just up there. As you can see, kind of looks like it went up about the same amount last time. And there you go. It's at the exact same percentage it was last time when I used 16 stones. So, you're looking at this, it could possibly be 14 stones, but even that, that would put it at 28. But let's just double check. Let's drop it down to 12, and let's see what happens then. Okay, now I have taken one more of Jack's Trust Masteries off, so this gets him 12 limit stones per turn. Looks the same. And it's the exact same. So at 16, when it should have given him a full limit break, it's the exact same as it was now. At 14, it filled the exact same, and now at 12, it filled the exact same. So its limit break, so it possibly could be 12. Let's go ahead and check one more time at 10 limit stones per turn and see if we see a difference. Okay, and I've taken off the last of Jack's Trust Masteries, so now he has his passive 6, plus 2, plus 2, so he has a total of 10 limit stones per turn. At this, we should see a difference. If the cap is 12, we should see a difference. It's a little bit different there. And there you go. As you can see, the amount at which his limit gauge filled is lower than what it was the previous 3 times. And this is just to show something I already knew, but the cap for limit stones per turn is in fact 12 limit stones per turn. Alright, so let's just go ahead and recap what we have covered. There are passive stat caps in this game. You can see those passive stat caps on your character's skill page, and the caps apply to HP, MP, attack, defense, magic, spirit, killers, and limit stones per turn. Now of those, everything but limit stones per turn has a cap of 300%, where limit stones per turn have a cap of 12 limit stones per turn. Now what does not have a cap is jump percent damage and high tide effects. Limit break percent increases, the most hotly contested one. So I hope this was informative to you. If you were somebody who had no idea there were caps in this game at all, well, now you know. Hopefully you know, this enlightened you on some of the mechanics that aren't explained, that probably should be, but aren't. If you did know about the caps, but you were just kind of unsure about, you've heard a bunch of conflicting information about what had a cap, what didn't have a cap, well, hopefully this kind of showed you that here's what has a cap, here's what doesn't have a cap. Like I said, I can't really show killers or jumps, so you have to trust me on those, because I don't have the gear to really show it, so I do apologize for that, but the most hotly contested ones really is the limit break percent increase, and that's kind of the one I wanted to show the most, along with limit stones per turn. So I hope this was informative. I hope you really liked it. If you did, let me know. If you want to see me do more videos in English, let me know. I can definitely do that more often. But I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.